Check this out. Some of the Trump defendants' lawyers had their cars booted today because Atlanta, or because Republican lawyers have to follow the rules like everybody else. But I was here on the king's business. It's mean out here on these streets. And I'll just pull into this strangely empty yet oh so convenient for me spot, which is clearly labeled as a spot I'm not supposed to park in. But I'm extremely entitled and these rules don't apply to me. There's a strap across his chest. Is he wearing a holster of some kind? What's he grasping with his left hand? I don't know. I think that might be the back of his tie. Who the hell knows? I had no idea when I collected this meme how soon it would be useful. Oh my god, this week is fucking awesome and it's barely Tuesday. Laws for thee, but not for me. They all think they're better than us. They don't call it Hotlanta for nothing. Maybe if they yell out Hunter Biden's laptop, they'll magically unlock. Will they blame Joe Biden and say this too is a political hit job, court interference? Criminals gonna crime or something like that. Rules don't apply to GOP. Maybe if they argue with the boot, call it names, and demand a dismissal, it'll release itself. So they parked where they shouldn't have. Happens in my city too. No parking means no parking. Yeah, but these are, Trump lawyers. That's what makes it headline worthy. When do we get to eat them? Man, I miss this show. Mercury retrograde for the win. Scofflaw's gonna scofflaw. Well, I don't know. Were the cars booted, they were parked in illegal spots, or simply because they were Trump lawyers? Has Trump bitched about election interference with his lawyers' cars being booted? He will. While the GOP fought Bud Light, President Biden fought Big Pharma and their horde of lobbyists. Medicare can now negotiate lower costs for these prescription drugs thanks to his Inflation Reduction Act. Every single Republican in Congress voted against this. Of course. Today, Biden-Harris administration is announcing the first 10 drugs selected for Medicare price negotiation. Seniors paid 3.4 billion in out-of-pocket costs for these 10 drugs in 2022. So this is just the first set of drugs. Oh, and here's this dipshit. This fucking man baby bitching. Shows economy size of product. Why is it so expensive? I envy these accounts that do nothing but hammer on the stupidity of MAGA. These people just wake up, point out someone stupid, call that person something catchy like wank spanking F nugget, and call it a day. Chef's kiss those people. No notes. And you get a little heart. Look how they photoshopped in those children. Ha 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 ha! Oh, yeah. Cruz gets called out again by Community Notes. Fell for right-wing disinformation again. Biden administration welded open Trump's border wall. It's not a crisis, it's by design. These are floodgates required to be opened during Arizona's monsoon season. If left closed, the force of flash floods caused by seasonal rain. Yeah, they don't care about that. Ooh, Angela Nixon's interview. They were having this conference on the shootings the other day, and this picture says 1,000 words. What is her first name? Angela Nixon. She gave this really it was this heartfelt interview on the news. To all the folks that are new to my page, welcome. Please note I love my state and its people with every ounce of my being, which is why I'm critical of its shortcomings and failures, but willing to put in the work to change it because I want the best for us. Yeah, they have the victims out. Angela Michelle Carr, a 19-year-old who worked at Dollar General. His family needs funding to be buried alongside his mother. I keep saying, you really want to make an impact, you really want to spur change, you make it so that the state has to pay for all these shootings. No, this is the Dollar General shooting from the other day. They've just released the identities of the victims. And I still say, make the state cover the expenses. The blood is also on their hands. So, there's probably no better way to enact change than to hit them where it really hurts, which is in their wallet. If the people got together and absolutely demanded that the state cover all expenses for every mass shooting that occurs in their state, I guarantee you'll start to see this shit slow down pretty fucking fast. Your taxes. You mean your taxes that also pay these people's salaries? That the vast majority of people are screaming at them to care about people over guns? These politicians that are shills for the NRA, you know they're taking money from them to pass what they want. How much is DeSantis getting paid? Let's take a look. How much does DeSantis weigh? Aw. 141.4 thousand as governor, and he made 1.2 million off a book deal. Make the states pay for all of these final expenses. A shooting happens, and they turn to citizens. They have to go to a GoFundMe. So that they can bury their children. Yeah, I probably should. I'll settle for this. People need to read your book in order for you to get that message out, let alone make money. I'm having a hard enough time here as it is. This is UNC Chapel Hill. They're jumping out of buildings. You know, something's got to give. You don't accept just bullshit on top of more bullshit. You have got to tell these people they're not going to have their cake and eat it too. Actions have consequences. If this is what you want, if you really, really care more about guns than people's children, than human beings working at a fucking Dollar General, trying to get a carton of milk. They can't even do that without being targeted. And it's all because The guns got into the hands of these fucking nutcases. All these states where they're so gung-ho pro-gun, fine. You want it that way? You're gonna pay for the fallout. I keep saying this. You fucking foot the bill. No more victims have to scrounge to bury their children. You're covering the hospital bills, you're covering the funeral costs, the casket, the headstone. You're covering everything. And here we go. National Guard member on duty at the Texas-Mexico border in El Paso fired across the Rio Grande, injuring a 37-year-old Mexican man in Ciudad Juarez on Saturday night. Is there any other way to interpret this other than a U.S. citizen shot a citizen of another country on their own land? That's exactly what this is. You know, this type of shit that they're doing, they keep saying it over and over again. The piss baby Greg Abbott keeps saying, these are not our citizens. We don't want them here. We don't like them. They don't belong here. Okay, so you admit they're not citizens, which means you're killing people, you're torturing and maiming and killing people that are not your citizens. If they are not your citizens, then that makes them what? Citizens of another country. What happens when you kill people that are not citizens of your country? It's considered an act of fucking war. Sure, you could interpret it as an armed U.S. government agent opening fire on an international border. If you wanted to. Trooper found it really hard to tell exactly where the border is because the river covers it up on his map. Feel like I've read this before. It might have been a headline from 1846. Guessing he was promoted to head of cartographic rapid response team. We don't do CRT here. Underrated comment. Take my upvote. Wait, is the blue part of the map the land? Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Washington Post has an article, allegedly the soldier opened fire after the man started stabbing migrants attempting to cross the river. If this is true, there are no reports of wounded migrants, so I would take that with a grain of salt. CBS is reporting the man was playing sports. But explain to me how a person on Mexico's side that is stabbing people justifies deadly force from a U.S. military. Texas World Police. Jesus Christ. They're already making excuses. for committing what is tantamount to an act of war. It really is. No, you're not going to go bun bun hunting. We are deeply appalled by the actions of the National Guard. Then, you know what you could do about that? Get rid of them. Ew. Ha ha. Liberals. We don't lose elections because we're wrong. We lose because we forget who we're dealing with. Holy crap, I love that graphic. It looks like two little versions of Agent 47.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, dude? I didn't even see what I did to you. You went around me like fucking with this much fucking room. There's only us two on the road, man. Yeah, but you're fucking... I was in over on the side. I'm not inside. I was watching you. No, you're a fucking hero now. Fuck off. What? Don't fucking get near me. I was gonna get way out of your way. Alright, man. Well, thanks for sparing.
Ah, fuck all these people. These are old. These are old. These are old. One faculty member killed at UNC while the kids climb out of the window. I'm telling you, make your representatives, make your state pay for this shit. Then you'll see shit start to change. All of a sudden, they will care very much about shootings in their state. All the citizens will. Whether you bitch that it's your tax dollars or not. They want it. Now they can pay for it. That would be nice, but honestly, I don't think it matters either way. I don't think it matters either way. Anybody who understands that, these state reps, these government reps, they don't care. They don't care about this. They don't care about your children or your rights or your safety or your families or racism or sexism. They don't give a fuck about the white domestic terrorist problem in this country. And I sure as hell wouldn't mind. I honestly don't think anybody who knows what they're all about would mind. They're not going to change any laws. They're not going to take any precautions. They don't give a shit. Hit them where it hurts, in the wallet. I don't care what anybody says. Force them to pay for the aftermath. Force them to pay all final expenses to victims. Force them to pay medical bills to victims. And you will start to see this shit stop. Nothing else has worked. Imagine being a freshman and this is your first week at UNC and this shit happens. Imagine being the parent of a freshman. This shit happens to small children. The hell are you talking about? Imagine being at the university. Imagine being a 5-year-old being taught shooter drills. This is what they put people through because of their love of guns and the money they get from the NRA. And nobody does anything.
Get the fuck out of here!
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh. Colorado school tells young student he can't have a Gadsden flag patch on his backpack. Hmm. I guess it would depend on what the Gadsden flag really stands for. Isn't that the Don't Tread on Me flag? What's funny is they kept saying the Gadsden flag, so I paused the video to look it up. Then pressed play, and she goes, the Don't Tread on Me flag. That is the No Step on Snake flag, so yeah. Exactly that one. 1-to-1 match. Hmm. Trans people should also not want to be treaded on, like the Gadsden flag is not partisan. See, okay. So apparently, what the problem is, he was wearing the Gadsden flag, which is the Don't Tread on Me flag, and the school said, no, he can't have it. And mom is arguing it was a Revolutionary War thing. It's a Revolutionary War thing. Look, let's face it here. Everybody knows what that flag means, who uses it, and do you think this kid understands enough about politics and bigger things going on in the world that he just happened to choose that patch to put on his bag because of the Revolutionary War? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that guy who wore swastika earplugs. Swastika earplugs, and people are saying, are you fucking serious? You neo-Nazi bastard. And then he would say, no, the swastika is an ancient symbol. It's an ancient symbol from back in the day, and the natives used it, and practically prehistoric groups used it. And so, it's not Nazi at all. I have the right to wear it. You don't have the right to say that I'm spreading hate. And of course, it continued to piss people off. Because that's not what people think of when they see a swastika. Certain groups around Germany, 1933 or so, kind of ruined that symbol, changed its meaning. And somebody had to set this asshole straight and say, let's be honest here. You know exactly how people are going to react when they see swastikas on your earplugs. You know exactly how angry they're going to become. You know that people know what that symbol means, or the first thing that comes to mind when they see that symbol. You probably don't even know the name of the ancient tribes that originally made that symbol, or the real far back historical significance of it. You're wearing those plugs because you know it's going to get people's attention, because you know it's going to piss people off, because you know that everybody, including you, knows the first thing that pops to mind when people see a swastika. But this way, you can not only gain the attention you so crave, but people will begin to argue with you. And then you can show off how smart you are by going into how it's an ancient symbol and old native tribes used it, or over in India they used it, or whatever the fuck it is you did a 5-minute cursory Google search on regarding the symbol. You could wow everybody with your great intelligence and your knowledge of history and ancient cultures. You can get more attention. You can have conversations with people. Who knows? You're probably wearing those plugs because that may be the only interaction you have with anybody. Because you're the type of person who would walk around with swastika earplugs. And that's what it's about. It isn't about the original cultural, ancient, tribal significance. You're going to just use that as an excuse. You're going to use that as a safety net for when people get pissed and try to call you out. I think this is exactly what that is. Only thing is, it's a child all of 10 years old. He probably doesn't even understand what that patch means. I'm pretty sure Mom does. I'm pretty sure Mom does. And I will guarantee, I'll put money on it, that if you really wanted to know where Mom's politics lie, she's going to be a right-winger. And that would be all you need to know to understand where this is coming from. I will guarantee you that. All right. I will be right back. lot of men interpret politeness from women as flirting because they themselves would never show even the barest courtesy to a woman they found unfuckable. Yep, that's pretty true. You know what I've gotten more than a few times? Random dudes. Uh, Everything from neighbors to guys on the street going out of their way to try to say hello to me, get to know me, have conversations with me. I'm simply not interested. I don't know these people, or I'm busy doing something else. And just like that, it's 0 to 60. And the next time I see them, they are literally screaming derogatory terms at me. I don't even know these people. This is the type of shit too many guys do. Okay, I don't care about everyone's personal experience. Yeah, people make mistakes. That's not the same thing. It's a mindset. It's being raised horribly. It's having no knowledge or understanding of women. It's being selfish and entitled. I'm so sick of garbage little boys in this country. Acceptable. Trump or death. Ooh. Ha! Oh, come on, you bastard. Oh, oh, oh. She complained to Uber stating that he threw her pups out of the car. She wouldn't have ordered an Uber if she were really rich. Dude would deserve it. Why did he expect to have cops do their job? Guy got deported. Camera guy is the fucking man. That's the reverse of an update. She was angry because all of her bags and her two pups couldn't fit in the car. The blue bin was the Uber driver's personal stuff. Then she kicked him in the balls. Didn't find anything about punishment or identity. Reddit is real good at getting a justice boner and blowing its load all over the wrong people. Please don't, Reddit. Leave it to the professionals. I don't know. To be honest, we don't know. Because she's got a lot of bags and she's driving in a nice Uber car, that means she's got to be rich. I don't know. Disappeared into the void. Ooh! Washed his keys in hot water. Can my keys come out? No. Stormy Daniels at it again. Don't you have a cock to choke on? I don't choke. I'm a professional. Daniel's boyfriends probably choke just from the head because he's got a dirty dick. Oh, yeah. Republicans trying to tell black Americans that because Trump has a mugshot, he has street cred now. Rule 1, always stay strapped and ready. Uh-oh. Holy shit. You know what? They're buoying this Ramalama Ding Dong way too much. It's like they've already decided. It's almost like he's being groomed to be the Republican candidate for president if Trump ends up going to prison or he can't run for president. And of course, why not? I've seen a billion memes about how he comes across as a telemarketer or a timeshare salesman. And he's just so garbage. Of all the people at that debate, Vivek Ramaswamy is one of the ones I don't want to hear from. I don't want to see. Vivek is a racist, ignorant, sexist bigot, and yet CNN did Don dirty anyway. Remember when Vivek Ramaswamy came on CNN and lied about American history of slavery, and Don Lemon was fired for correcting him? One thing I can say about that debate is that at least Chris Christie and some of the others up there said the right things or they tried to say the right things. And this guy, it's like he just took a page out of the Trump grifter's playbook. The all mouth, no action, big smile, buy them over with bullshit type of presence up there, and now he's all over the place, and I don't want to see him. This is going to be horrific.
I don't know what the hell. Let him go, dude. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Why are you blocking the camera? At these things.
A fight in Vancouver, Canada at a protest demanding the return of COVID masking. What is the big deal? It is a small piece of paper over your face. The guy being beat up is an anti-vax counter-protester. The sign they are wrestling over at the beginning is the red one that says CBC is government-funded media. We have no way of knowing who initiated the violence or who assaulted who before the video starts. Look, if the virus comes back or a new variant or whatever and it helps to mask up again, who cares? It's a piece of fucking paper over your face when you're in public. Our nation is filled with anti-vax fucktards. We would need it more than anybody else. We would need that shit more than any other country. If people had masked up the first time, we wouldn't have that much of a problem. But people just don't get it. They don't get anything. They don't get science. They don't get the lifetime's worth of work that these professionals and these doctors put in to try to help humanity, and they sure as hell don't care and don't want to care if it helps somebody else. Oh, shut up. And they go on about freedom, a freedom. Well, and it's other people's freedom to wear a mask during a pandemic, especially if it's recommended by experts. I said the first time there needed to be laws because that was one of their favorite things to say. It's not a law. It's not a law. Well, we should make some fucking laws so that we don't have to put up with this for round two. I am so fucking sick of right wingers. I am so fucking sick of backwards people that don't believe in science and they don't believe in freedom. In the abstract, they absolutely don't.
Hey, wait, whoa.
I saw that. Ah, this is what he does. Ew. 2024 GOP substitute candidate. Ah, ah. Angry babies. Oh, if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. Exclusive. We had to abandon our 27,000 pound private jet flight to Cannes. Or is that the French franc? For our daughter's 8th birthday because of UK air traffic control chaos. Now we're going to have to spend the week in London. Ooh, I want to see rainwater under a microscope. It's going to be filled with all kinds of nasty, creepy crawlies. Pollen, bacteria, plant matter, lots of pollen and organic matter. Ew. I had an argument with this dude who tried to say that. Yeah, okay. I had an argument with this dude who tried to say that rainwater is the freshest, purest water ever. I'm like, no, it fucking isn't. Are you nuts? Republicans are having a meltdown because Eminem sent Vivek Ramaswamy a cease and desist, demanding that he stop using his music. And he should. Republicans are all pissed off because the cool, trendy artists want nothing to do with them. Vivek is a turd and too fucking toothy for my likes. That and he's a shit human in general. So I can see him having a bright future with the GOP. Over 30% of the GOP won't vote for Vivek for a very specific reason. He's not going anywhere. Well, two very specific reasons, but we won't go into that. They just love having a minority in their ranks just to try to prove they're not real racists. And the real kicker, the shithead, is against diversity. Yeah, they have to have, they're all token to them. The token minority, just so they can say they're open and modern and progressive. But in reality, they don't want an Indian guy. They don't want a Hindu, non-Christian, non-white guy leading them or their party or this nation. Bro couldn't even pick a VP with brown hair. Yeah, the only reason Pence was picked at all was to make the religious zealots feel good about voting for Trump, because they know he's a piece of shit too. They wanted 1850s all over again. Is this the reason? Yeah, that's one of the reasons. The Cheshire Cat smile is unnerving. It's the hello. I would like to speak with you about your car's extended warranty smile. That's what that is. Trump would never agree to Trump Ramaswamy printed on campaign merchandise. Never gonna happen. He'll be a flash in the pan and forgotten about shortly. I don't know. Like I said, there were a ton of GOP politicians that are in the running, and a few of them actually tried their best to sound like they weren't completely batshit fucking insane. But Ramalama Ding Dong is the one that's all over the news. Because he's a fucking tool. That's why. I know an 80-year-old Southern white woman, dyed-in-the-wool Republican, very religious, and she wants to vote for Vivek. Do not discount this guy. That's how we ended up with Trump. Amen. Last guy was a TV star. The next natural step is obviously rap cover band before we go full idiocracy and go professional wrestler. And not like mainstream wrestler, backyard wrestler who doesn't realize wrestling is scripted. Hey, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Cynthia Nixon ran for Congress, I believe. And don't forget Jesse the Body Ventura, who was governor of Minnesota, I believe. Jesse Ventura had some really awesome policies, some really awesome things to say, wrote some great books. Democrats and Republicans, the problems with two-party system in America or something along those lines. Always see artists sending cease and desist letters to conservatives to stop using their shit. Can't think of a single occasion of artists doing the same to the left. I think the reasons are twofold. The only music that caters to a conservative mindset is the hateful hillbilly brand of country that's about drinking and driving, beating your wife, and keeping those people out of your hometown, and prominent conservative candidates just tend to be hateful, shitty people. And artists, no artist wants their work associated with that. Yes, it's bad PR. You know, business in America. Plus, liberals ask for permission first. Well, they're usually white men, so they've got a history of that. Almost like the GOP and their voters don't understand consent. Well, of course they don't. I'm hungry. Okay, I'm leaving.